This video was made possible by the EA Creator Network. Hi everyone, and welcome back to a brand new speed build. Today I have my first build with the new Lovestruck expansion pack that we got like a week and a half ago, I think, at the time when I post this. But yeah, I have my first build with this pack, and I'm so excited to share it because I have been working on this since I was able to get early access, which thank you so much to the EA Creator Network for giving me early access. But I have been working on it since I got early access, but I tweeted about this, but there was some trouble with early access, and then I had work, and then that weekend, like the weekend after that pack came out, I went on a trip. I was gone that entire weekend, and we were supposed to leave on like that Saturday, but we left on the Friday, so like directly after work we left, so I barely had any time. And then last week I had more work, so I haven't been able to get this video out until now, but I hope that's okay. But I'm so excited to share my first build with this new pack because I had so much fun with this build, and also I love this new pack. I honestly wasn't sure I was going to, like, when the whole like Lovestruck concept came out and stuff like that, I wasn't sure that I would like it because it seemed very like gameplay oriented, which we all know I am a builder, and so I was a little bit unsure of like what type of build items we were gonna be getting, and I thought it was only going to be like very out there stuff. Like, we do have some out there stuff, like we have some like cheetah print stuff and like zebra print, like snake print and stuff like that, which is very out there and is not very, I don't know, it's not something I'm comfortable using, you know, like I'm gonna try my best to use those things in builds, but like those are not the type of stuff that I want more like the simpler stuff, as I was a little bit unsure. But then when I was able to get my hands on this pack, I realized that the Sims team, they know us and they know that we don't always love to just have those things. Like, we need the simple stuff too. So there's so many like simple things in this, and there's also of like the loud things in the game, if that makes sense, like the snake print ones or whatever. There are some like muted swatches of everything, which I love. So coming into the game, and when I was gonna build this build or build any build, I was like, like, what do I build? I wasn't sure. My first thought was to build a penthouse because we do have 2 new penthouse slots with this game pack, or this expansion pack, and I was really planning on making a penthouse, but then I realized that like everyone else were making penthouses, so I was like, I'm gonna, for my first build at least, do something different. I think my next build with this pack will be a penthouse, to be honest. I just started one, so it'll probably be that. But I decided to build this, which ends up being 3 homes on 1 lot. And honestly, I was gonna say the entire name of like the video, because if you're new here, I usually say like, hi and welcome to a brand new speed build. Today I have a, and then I say like the name of the video or like the name of the build. And I was gonna do this for this, but I realized that I don't know how to pronounce this world's name. I think it's like Ciudad Enamorada or something like that. I might be completely out of left field. I honestly kind of blanked on the name right now, so I might be just saying the completely wrong thing, but it's something like that. I do not know any Spanish. I am currently trying to learn Spanish on Duolingo. I'm literally on like, I literally started a couple of days ago, so I do not know any Spanish. I'm so sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly, but yeah, I decided to call this like the world name and then like 3 homes on 1 lot, because there ends up being 3 homes in this build, which this build is such a long video, or this video is such a long video, and I apologize for that. I really did try to make this as short as possible, but like, when you have 3 homes on 1 lot, it's a lot. It's a lot of footage. So I hope you're okay with to just like sit down and chill with me today for like an hour and a half, which is insane. Again, I'm so sorry about that. I tried my best. But anyways, moving on, talking about more about like this specific build. So again, when I came into like the game wanting to build, or like needing to build, like when I came into the game and I was gonna start building, I wasn't sure again what I wanted to build. Like, I had the penthouse, but then I was like, no, I'm gonna try to build something else. And then I just built this, and this is not based off of anything, like this is just from my mind. I don't know if this is the case of, because I definitely have done this before where I haven't based off like a build off of something I've seen like currently, like right now on Pinterest, but it might be something that I like once saw on Pinterest or like somewhere else like 15 years ago. I was 15 years ago. I don't think I remember that, but like like I saw it like a while ago and I just don't remember it and I haven't saved it. So, but like somewhere in my mind it's there. So this might be the case with this build because I have no idea where this build came from, but somewhere in my mind. So if you know if this is the type of build that is in, I don't know, a TV show, or if you've seen it on Pinterest or something like that, please let me know because I do not know. I am so confused of where this came at, or like where this came from, but I'm really happy with it. I am really, really happy with this build and I really like it. So, like I said, it ends up being 3 homes. So each section is their own house, if that makes sense. So obviously with the, I was gonna say the latest expansion pack. It's not the latest expansion pack anymore. The expansion pack we got before this one, which was the Forward expansion pack, we were now able to make like several homes on one lot and to have it as a residential rental, which is what this is going to be. When I upload this to the gallery though, it is not going to be residential rental, and that's just because there are so many bugs when it comes to downloading. Oh sorry, I hit the cord to my mic, so you might have heard that. I'm so sorry. But there are so many bugs when downloading residential rentals off of the gallery. Like, it can mess up your game really badly. So to be on the safe side, I am going to upload this as a like regular residential lot, but you can kind of clearly see where the like each house is supposed to be, and then in your own game you can make it into a residential rental, if that makes sense. But anyways, so each section ends up being their own house, so you can kind of see what I mean. Like, there ends up being kind of like a yellow section, a green section, and a kind of like corally section, I think you would call that color. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, and I wasn't 100% sure if that was going to be the case. At first I thought that there might end up being like 6 apartments in this, but in the end I didn't want there to be like smaller apartments. I wanted there to be more like houses kind of. So yeah, this is what it ended up doing. So the first house is the yellow portion. I'm gonna call it probably like the yellow and then the green and then the coral, because I feel like that would make sense, because that's kind of how it ended up being. I didn't plan that, but that's just how it ended up working out, and it worked perfectly. But so the first house you will see me decorate will be the yellow house, or like the yellow, I don't know, I feel weird calling it a house because it is connected to everything else, and I don't think they're called apartments. Would they be called apartments? I don't know. I'm not sure. Like, please let me know in the comments if you know, because I feel like it would be an apartment, but also it's not, because I'm not, I don't know. But anyways, the first home, again, the yellow one, ends up being for what I imagine to be a single mom and their teen and their kid. So I was thinking that the mom is, obviously you can have whoever you want in all of these apartments. Just because I say it's for a single mom, you don't have to have like that. You can have whoever you want. I don't care. But I was imagining that the mom there is in the new career that we got with this expansion pack, which, if I am correct, it's like a oh, actually, I totally forgot it. Hold on, let me look it up. Okay, I looked it up. Once again, I have been like solely working on this build. I haven't really like dived into anything else with this new pack, and I'm so tired. I'm so tired. So I'm so sorry for that. But anyways, it's the new romance consultant career, and I was thinking that obviously when I'm doing all of the all of the homes, I will go into greater detail about each person like living in there, but I was just this is just gonna be an overview. But I was thinking that the mom, I don't think that the other parent to the kids, I don't think that they like died or anything like that. I think that they and the mom, they divorced, and so which is kind of ironic because the mom is a romance consultant. But I was thinking that yeah, she's just a romance consultant and she's really good at it. I do put the new like award plaque that we got from this pack in the office that ends up being in the house, and yeah, I don't know, that's just kind of what I was thinking. And then they have a teen, which I was thinking was a like teen girl. Again, you can have whoever you want, but I love the teens room in that house. Like, I had so much fun in it. It's one of my favorite rooms ever. Like, I love it so much. And then I was thinking that the kid is a little boy. Again, you can have whoever you want, I don't care, but I was thinking that that the kid is a little boy, and that he, I don't know, I think he's into kind of like everything. I put like anything and everything in there, but that room ends up being very like yellow and blue, and I don't know, I had a lot of fun with that as well. It's kind of a small room, but I had a lot of fun with it. And then the second house, which you will see me do, is the greenhouse, which ends up being kind of in the middle, and that one only is a 1-bedroom apartment. To be fair, you could definitely make it into more than that, because there ends up being a home gym in there as well, because I was thinking that the person living there is a bachelor, and they're very much like, I don't know, like they're kind of like a player, and you know, they're just like the typical bachelor, you know. And I was thinking that they're very much into going to the gym and stuff like that, so there ends up being a home gym in there as well. But again, it's the smallest apartment or like house or whatever. I don't know what to call it, but it's the smallest one out of all three of the houses. Again, I'm so tired, I'm so sorry. But yeah, the one ends up being a little bit smaller, so it's only for one person, but I really like the idea of like a bachelor living there. And then the final house or home or apartment or whatever you will see me do is the one on the right, which is the like coral one, and that one ends up being for 3 roommates. And I was thinking that there's 3 roommates living there, like they're best of friends. They have so much fun together, and their house is kind of like a little bit of a party house, and they're young, like they're young adults, and so I tried to make some like references to them being a little bit younger, and they're kind of like a party house. And I was thinking that one of the people living there has a huge crush on the like bachelor living next door, but they also know that they would probably not be good for them because that bachelor is a player. But I was thinking that like at least one of them, or maybe all of them, have like a crush on them, and then it becomes kind of like conflict. I don't know. You can play with that throughout the gameplay. I feel like that might be like a really fun thing to play with. But yeah, so that ends up being like the people that all the homes are for. Again, I will go into more detail about all of them as I go through. I do realize now that I did kind of go into detail about the first one and then not the rest. But I promise I will go into detail about all of them a little bit later on. But before I do that, I want to talk a little bit more about the exterior before we move on into the interior. So with this build, I tried to use as much as possible from the new expansion pack, of course. So when it came to the exterior, I used a bunch of new stuff. I used the new wallpaper. So all of the like wallpapers on the exterior, the coral one, the kind of like, I don't know, the yellow one. I forgot the name of yellow. That's how tired I am. And the green one, I believe they're all from the new expansion pack. Now that I think of it, the yellow one might not be, because I was having a little bit of difficulty like finding a wallpaper that I liked, but I think they're all like the same wallpaper, just different swatches. And then I end up using these windows, which I am so excited about these windows. I love these windows. They are so simple yet so beautiful and amazing, and they're kind of like chunky, which is a really weird way to describe a window, but like if you know, you know, kind of. But like I love these windows so much. I'm gonna be using them in like all types of builds, like builds like this, modern builds, like suburban builds. Like I'm gonna be using them all the time because I love them so much. And so I use mostly the tube tile wide version of it, and I use it in the like white swatch. There are so many beautiful swatches. Again, I feel like with this pack, the Sims team really did a great like thing with it. Like they were able to have this like, again, the like neutral swatches, but then also of these windows, for example, there were like, I think there's a purple swatch, there's like a green swatch, there's a total black swatch, which thank you Sims team for actually getting us like, again, a full white swatch and a full like black swatch. Thank you, I love you. But yeah, there's just like a bunch of different swatches, which I love, so you can like use them in different places and different builds, and I love that so much. But yeah, I use mostly the like 2-tile wide window, and then I also use the single tile wide window, which I love as well. I just think it's like a perfect window. And then in the back, you won't see me really, you won't really see it, but in the back I end up using another window as well, which is a really just small square like simple window, but we got a few different windows from this new pack. I feel like at this point most of you have probably seen a bunch of other speed builds, so you've probably seen the other windows, but we have a bunch of other windows which you'll probably see me use in the next build, which again would probably be a it's called a penthouse. But there's one window specifically that I'm so excited about because we got the square window that I used. That is like, there's only one version of that window, and it ends up being again also a little bit chunkier, if that makes sense, than like another window. But then we have another window. I felt like I just confused myself by saying another window so many times, but we have another window that's also very, very small, and it's perfect and comes again in so many great swatches. But there's two versions of that window. There's like a regular window, and then there's one that is open. Thank you, Sims team, for finally giving us a window in this game that is like open. And I love that there are two versions, so like you don't have to use the open one like all over. Like you can kind of mix match, and I love it so much. They're going to be perfect for like bathrooms, because I feel like in bathrooms it's very common that you have like a small window, because you obviously don't want anyone like looking while you're in the bathroom. Like that's a little weird, so you want a small window. But then also, like if you're showering and then it's just going to be a lot of steam, you might want to open a window. So I don't know, I just love it, and I love that window so much. I didn't use it in this build again because it didn't really fit in, or it would have, but I decided to use the other window. But yeah, I love those windows so much. We also have a few different new doors. We have like a bunch of different ones. We have the front doors that I used for this build, which I used in a few different swatches. So for like the more like yellow side, I used a yellow swatch. For the green one, I used a green swatch, and then for the coral one, we didn't really have a good coral swatch. We do have a red swatch, but I felt like that was a little bit much, so I think I ended up going with a white swatch that has kind of like a lighter wood tone on it. I feel like it fitted pretty well still. So I liked using that to kind of like signalize the different doors. I really like it. And I'm going to use this front door all the time because again, it's this simple, like chunky front door. It's perfect. It will work in so many different types of builds. I love it so much. And then we also have we have so many new different doors, but I only use that one, and then I also use a single tile door, which is the door that is going to be like into all of the rooms in this build. But otherwise I didn't use any of the other doors because again, they didn't really fit in. But we have a few different ones, and then we have a new archway, which, oh my god, this archway, or these two archways, are literally something I've been asking for forever. I don't actually know if I've ever like actually asked for it in a video, but it's something I've thought about a lot because it is a perfect archway that is rounded at the top and is for the short wall height. We have I think it's two different versions of an archway that we got from the Cats and Dogs expansion pack that I love, and it's very simple again, and it has a like rounded archway, like top. The top of the archway is rounded, if that makes sense. But those are for the medium wall height, and I'm always so bummed that I can't use it for like a regular wall height. But now we have these ones, and they're so simple, and I love them. Like there's no other decorations, just a simple like archway, which I feel like I've said simple so many times, but I love it so much, and I use it also throughout this build because they're just perfect. And then what else for the exterior did I use? Actually, I used a lot. I used a bunch of things. You will see I used the new like railing and the new fence for the kind of like, I don't know how to explain this. It's kind of like the porch and balcony area. You will see in the front, obviously, there ends up being kind of like a U-shaped like porch, which is like what I had in mind when I was building this. Like that was the front and center part I wanted, and then in the middle I wanted there to be a little bit of like a landscape moment with a what's it called, with a fountain in it, which I used the new fountain that we got, which I love as well. It's so simple, it's amazing. Again, I feel like I'm gonna say simple so many times in this video, but yeah, I used the new fountain in that. But like that was a thing that I wanted to do with this build. Like that was the main thing I wanted, which is really weird. And I feel like, again, I must have seen it at some point somewhere, but I don't remember when or where. But yeah, I used that. And so you will see that again, I used the new like fence and railing, which I love. There are a bunch of different versions of it. Like if you go through the swatches of like the new fence or even the new kind of like window decorations, you know how we can have like, it looks like a false balcony. I think it's called like a French balcony. I might be incorrect with saying that. I don't know. But you know those like, yeah, it's like a false balcony basically. If you go through the swatches of like that, and again the fence and even the new what's it called? The thing you have on top of a fence between like but after the roof. What is it called? It's not the garble. What? It's not a cable. Okay, I lost the word, but you know what I mean. Anyways, I'm gonna be bummed that I don't remember the word for that. Oh god. Anyways, if you go through this the swatches of those things, you will see that there's a bunch of different versions. So like for the ones I use, it kind of looks like, I don't know, I feel like it looks like a flower, and then there's ones where they're just like lines in them, and there's a bunch of different versions in different swatches, and I love them so much. And I don't know, I had just so much fun using it in this build. And I used also the new like stairs that we got, because we got some new stairs that are tiled, and I used the matching like floor tile on the like courtyard area front thingy. I don't know what to call it, because this house doesn't have like a backyards. It has like this front communal area, which is kind of a courtyard, but it's an open courtyard. It's a front yard, but it's not a front yard. I don't know what to call it, but yeah, I used the new tiling that we got. And then on the, again, like the porch and balcony areas itself, I used also new tiling that we got, but that tiling does not have any like what's it called, any decorations within it. It's just like a plain one, which I love that we got a plain version of it. Love it so much. And yeah, I think those are like some of the things. And then obviously a new like main thing that we got with this new pack that was actually in a game or base game update. I just said in a game update. In a base game update. So everyone has this in their game now. It's rounded pools, which we have been asking for forever. Like we as builders, and probably like anyone who plays The Sims, we have been wanting these rounded pools for forever. And so I decided to like kind of show it off in this build. Was it necessary? Definitely not. But I felt like I had to play around with it a little bit and like show them off because they look so pretty. Also now saying that, I just got I don't know why, but the way I said like they look so pretty, I just thought of the 5 Sauce song, like she looks so pretty standing there. If you know the rest of the lyrics, you know the rest of the lyrics, and now I'm gonna have that stuck in my head for the rest of this video. But yeah, so again, this build doesn't really have a backyard. It has this front yard courtyard area like I was mentioning before. So it has a pool, it has some like gardening areas, and then it also has some like sun lounges and stuff like that. Also, I did want to mention this before I get further into the video. You will see in some places that it might look a little weird. So like on these lounges, I put some pillows, and they look a little weird because they're not leaning correctly. And in the, like, I think it's like the first 2 houses that I do, you will see like there's some weird, like maybe like scaled objects, like some rugs that are like, those should be a little bit bigger. At least if you're me, like when I was building this, I was thinking like those needs to be bigger. But basically when I got this, the tool mod hadn't been updated yet, which if you don't know the tool mod, it's an amazing mod by Twisted Mexi. Twisted Mexi is honestly a god, and oh my god, they're so good. But it's a mod by Twisted Mexi. You do not have to have that mod to be able to download this build. When you download this build, it will be like you see it right now. You do not have to have the mod for things to stay the way that I make them, if that makes sense. Basically, the tool mod makes it so that you can scale objects to like literally a 10th like of precision. Like you can scale them so well. Obviously we can scale things with like the I think it's the bracket keys on my like Nordic keyboard. It's different because then it's O and like another thing, but anyways, we have different scaling on like different keyboards, but I think it's the bracket keys on like quote unquote regular keyboards. So obviously we can do that, but those are not as precise as you can do it with the tool mod. And also with the tool mod, you can rotate items and stuff like that. So when I did get the tool mod into my game again, after it was updated, I did make sure to rotate things correctly. So like those pillows that I put on the sound lounges, they will be rotated to match the sound lounges. And like the rug in the entryway on the first build, like that's gonna be sized up and stuff like that. So if if things look a little weird while you're seeing this, or if they look a little bit different in the screenshots, it's because I got the tool mod back in my games. I was able to do things the way I wanted to, and I knew that I was going to be able to use the tool mod like after it had been updated, so I was like, I'm just gonna leave that here and then put like a mental note to, you know, to do that, like to change him. But yeah, I don't know if there's anything else for the exterior. I'm trying to think. I literally have like a sticky note. It's not a sticky note, like an actual sticky note. It's one like in my computer, but you know what I mean, like a post-it. But like in my computer. Again, it's like a note app, I guess. I could just say that. But anyways, I have a note app like filled with things that I wanted to talk about, like they're new with this new expansion pack, because I would like to point out things. So like if you want to buy the pack, which by the way, I should have mentioned this so much earlier, but if you're thinking of buying this pack, or if you're thinking to buy any other DLC or anything else on the EA App Store, in the EA App Store, in the EA app, or on the Sims.com, you can use my creator code Simsa04. It is spelled down below, and I'll probably put a text like up on the screen right now, which you've already seen, with it. So it's just Simsa04 in all caps, and you can put that when you're buying any pack, like in the what's it called, like a promo code things. Like you can add like a promo code, you know, when you buy things, you can add that there, and sadly you won't get a discount, but I will get money from it, which is really cool. And I've seen some people use it already, and like literally when I saw that for the first time, I cried, because I was like, oh my god, out of everyone, you guys decide to support me? What? Like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna get emotional now too, because that's insane. But if you want to, it would mean the world to me, because it will support my content as well. And again, you don't have to do it just now. Like, this code is valid for a bit, so you can use it anytime you want to purchase anything on the EA app or on the Sims.com. Sadly, it only works for PC. I got a question about that on Twitter, but yeah, sadly it only works on PC. But you know, Sims team, get on that. I'm kidding, I'm very thankful. But yeah, if you want to use it, you can do it. But yeah, I want to mention things in this build that are from the new pack, so that if you're thinking about getting the new pack, you will kind of know what is in it from a build perspective, which again, you've probably seen so many other videos with this pack already, because I am so late. Again, work has been crazy. We got a new kitten. It's been so many things going on, and I've just not had time, so I'm so sorry. But yeah, so anyways, getting back into what I was talking about, I literally have a like a kind of note of what I want to talk about. Oh, we have a new flower box, which I am so excited about, which is really weird to be excited about, but if you have ever watched like any speed build of mine, you will know that I always without any fail put flower boxes in my builds, because I love flower boxes. I love any plants, to be honest, but I love flower boxes so much. So we got a new flower box, and it's again really simple. It has some just like green flowers in it, or I don't know, flowers, just some green plants in it, and it's kind of small, so it works in different builds, or like different size windows. And then using the tool mod, you can also like scale it up to what you want, which is really cool. What else? I'm looking at that. We do also have a new picnic table, which I used outside, which has some fun colors on it, which, to be fair, like throughout this entire build, I tried to use more colors than I usually do. Saying that, all of the houses have like different themes to them, so I think the first house you will see me do has probably the most colors, but then also the like final house does as well. But then the bachelor like home house, whatever, apartment, that one ends up being kind of like black and like this dark wood, because again, I went for a very typical like bachelor pad vibe. And also I was thinking that the bachelor who lives there is an interior designer, so they you know, they like things they like, and they have a little bit more of a modern vibe. But the first house, I wanted to be a little bit more like traditional. I was gonna say traditional Mexican. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, because if you didn't know, like this entire new world and stuff like that is based on Mexico City, and I love this new world. I think it's so pretty, and from what I've seen, it's really representative of Mexico City because it has, again, the penthouses and like the skyscrapers and like that whole vibe, but then it also has this more, I gotta say an urban area. I don't know what to call this, but like the area where I built this, you can literally like, if you go, if you look behind, you can see like apartment buildings, but like low apartment buildings, and then if you look the other way, you will see more like small little villas, and I really like the contrast, and I think this world is absolutely beautiful. But again, for this first house, I tried to make it a little bit more like colorful, and I was gonna say traditional Mexican. It's not, but I feel like it's kind of, I tried. I'm so sorry if it's incorrect, but I tried to have, again, a little bit more like colors and stuff like that because I felt like that's, from what I know at least, like that's pretty common for a lot of people. Obviously, I saw a tweet about this actually because someone was talking about how Mexico City has so many different like types of buildings and like styles and stuff like that, so it's hard to just like, I don't know, to like box it into like one thing. So they were getting really mad when people are saying like, oh, this is not giving Mexico City, it's giving San Myshuno, but it's like Mexico City literally has skyscrapers. Like it's one of the biggest cities in the world. It's huge. So I think people forget that it's an actual city sometimes. So I love it. I think it's very like, from what I know, it's very true. Again, I've never been to Mexico, so do not take my word for it, but from what I've seen and stuff like that, it's very representative of Mexico City. And so I felt like this apartment that I'm building, again, it's not, or like the first build I'm doing, again, it's not traditionally Mexican, but it's like maybe like a modern Mexican home, if that makes sense. I don't know what I'm saying. I feel like I'm sounding very confused, and that's because I am. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop talking about this before I get myself into any trouble. But what else was there that I want to talk about? Oh yeah, we have a bunch of new flowers which I use all over this build. Like we have so many new different like plants and flowers and stuff like that. We even have some flowers in the debug menu, which you will see me use throughout all of the builds. So if you see any flowers that look more like flower bouquets, those are from the debug menu. We have a couple of different ones. I used one mainly because the other two look like flower bouquets that you would get from like, I think one are like a flower bouquet of just roses, and then one is a very like fleshed out flower bouquet, which again is something that you probably get from like your significant other. But then the one I use a lot ends up being a little bit more like green, and it's a little bit more my kind of style. To be fair, if my boyfriend ever were to get me roses, I would love him for it, but also I think he knows that that's not me. He did give me flowers once, when I went to visit him. He got me flowers, like he met me at the airport with flowers, and they were all purple, which is my favorite color, and it was such a like mal bouquet, which I was like, you know me, because I was like, if he would have showed up with roses, he would not have known me. I love roses, they're pretty, but like those are not, I would not want to get like roses per se. I like other flowers, so he knows me. But like, yeah, so I think that's also why I didn't use the roses a lot in this build, because personally, roses are not my thing. I think they're pretty, but like they're not my thing. I would rather get other flowers. But yeah, what else do we have that I use a lot in this build from the new pack? Oh, we have house numbers, which if you're a Sims builder, or if you watch a lot of like Sims builders, you will know that this is huge for us. I am surprised we didn't get them with the For Rent expansion pack. Like, I'm very surprised, but we got them now and I'm happy about it. I love them. I use them in this build, so you would have seen earlier when I was doing the exterior. I'm currently on the interior, but when I was doing the exterior, you would have seen that like in all of the like front, like by all the front doors to all of the apartments, homes, houses, whatever, I don't know what to call them, and like by the door I put this little house number, and I love them so much. There are a few different swatches. Again, the Sims team really knows us, so the ones I use by the front door have a like house number, and then it has some like beautiful like black metal detail around it. I love it so much. And then also by the like front gate, which by the way, the front gate is from also the For Rent expansion pack, which I just felt like fitted in so well. I don't know why, I just felt like it fitted in very well into this area. But anyways, I used that, and then beside that gate I end up putting that house number thingy as well, but I use a different swatch, which is it's kind of like a white creamy swatch and just has some text on it, but it's like in Simlish, so obviously you can't read what it says, and then it doesn't have the black metal things, and I was thinking that might just say like what this place is, like maybe the house numbers that are here, or like maybe the people that live here, like here lives all of these people in these 3 houses, or maybe it's like a factoid about the houses. I don't know. It's something like that, and yeah, I just thought it was really cool. I'm so appreciative that we got these house numbers, and I hope we get some more versions of it in like other packs. Like we get maybe like a modern version, or I don't know, like, you know, those where they're like stacked instead. I really want that. Those like more like modern ones that I see all over the place right now. I really like those. But yeah, and then what else? We also have a new hanging plant. Well, it's not a new hanging plant. It's a wall plant that looks like a hanging plant, which you will see me use like all out throughout this build. But yeah, I think at this point I should probably move on and talk about more of the first house that you're seeing me do. So again, I've talked about it quite a lot already. It's for the single mom with their teen and their kid, and I love this house. I think it ends up being really cute, and it's very much something that I haven't really done before. Not like the family dynamic, I've definitely done this family dynamic before, but when it comes to, again, like the style and like the colorfulness of it, I haven't really done it before. You will see in the screenshots later, and also as I'm building, I think it's like the bachelor pad and stuff like that, or like the bachelor's house, you might see like in the corner of your eye, if you look into this house, that the wallpaper in the living room and part of the kitchen will have changed, because I switched it to this like green wallpaper, because again, I felt like it was just colorful and it worked very well, and so I'm really happy with this first house. One thing that I'm weirdly happy about is the rug that I end up using in the living room. I feel like that rug ties the entire living room together. That rug is from the 4-end expansion pack. I feel like the 4-end expansion pack came in really, really handy for this build in general. I feel like I've mentioned it a few times already, but yeah, I used that in there. And then we do have some new like couches and some new armrests and stuff like that. I do end up using one of the new armrests in this build, or in this house. I think I do end up using them in the third one as well, but it's kind of like a heart like a heart chair, which has a matching like lip couch, which I think you get while after reaching like a certain level of the romance consultant career, but I use it in these kind of like more like white like creamy swatch, and if you use that chair in that swatch, you can't really tell it's a heart unless you know. So I felt like it worked very well, and I think I used that chair in the office space, and did I use it in the living room? I don't think I did. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. But also in the office though, I do use the new desk that we have, which I am in love with. I'm going to be using it all the time. It's so perfect. It's a perfect mix between like modern and like, I was gonna say traditional. It's not traditional, but like it's not too modern. It's not like glass everywhere. It's just a perfect simple desk, which again I'm gonna be using all the time, and I love it so much. And then I should probably also mention that for this first house or apartment or building or whatever, again, I don't know what to call it, for this first home, I need to start saying home because I feel like that would make sense, but for this first home, this is the only house or home, dear lord, this is not going well. But this is the only home you will see me do the bathrooms for, because originally I was going to keep the bathrooms in, like I recorded all the bathrooms, and I was going to keep at least like one bathroom from each home in all of them, because I do decorate them a little bit differently. But with how long this video was, I was like, no, no one is gonna want to sit here and watch me decorate bathrooms all over again. So I only show one bathroom, and it's from this first house, and the same with the laundry room. So there ends up being a laundry home what there ends up being a laundry room in this first home, and also in the third one. The bachelor pad home situation thingy does have laundry, but it's in one of the bathrooms, the downstairs bathroom has the laundry. But with the new bathroom, I wanted to mention that we have this new thing, which I have been wanting for forever, and I feel like in general with this pack, the Sims team has really listened to what we want, because there's so many new things that like we've been wanting for forever. So basically now you can make your own walk-in showers because we have this new like shower door, which is just a regular door and you can use it anywhere. But it's this like door that, again, it's a shower door. It looks like a shower door, and there's a few different versions of the swatches. So there's I think I might be incorrect by saying this, but I know there's like a simple black and white swatch of both versions. So like the version I use is just like regular glass, but then there's also one with frosted glass, which I really like because you might want to use frosted glass sometimes to give a little bit more privacy. But yeah, you can now make some like custom walk-in showers, which I love, and I do end up doing walk-in showers in all of the homes because I just love them. I love that we're able to do that now. And we also got like a new shower head. We do have in game already like 2 different shower heads that like would have worked for this, but now we have a new shower head as well. That are like a wall mounted shower head that doesn't have any like glass around it, so like you can make your own custom walk-in shower. And so yeah, I end up using that new one in the first build, and then in the first home, and then I think maybe the third home as well. I know in the second one, like again the bachelor one, I end up using the one that we got from the Snow Escape pack, weirdly, but yeah, I end up using that in that. And then what else for this build, or for this first home? I'm trying to think of like things I want to talk about from the home, and then also like things that are new. The parents' bedroom, or like the single mom's room, ends up being very simple. They do have a walk-in what? They do end up having a ensuite bathroom, and then they also have a, I guess, walk-in closet, the one that we got from the I was gonna say Get Famous. No, it's Get Together. Yes, that is what it's called. We got it from the Get Together expansion pack that we got a while ago, but it's one of those like walk-in ones, so you can just like walk in, but it's a wormhole. Like you can't actually go in, like, you know, see what they're doing. But I end up using that in there just because that room was so like long, so I felt like it just divided the room nicely. And in that room I end up using the new bed that we got. I think like 3 new beds, I think. And in that one I end up using the one that is more like simple. Some of the swatches of that bed has some like rose carving into the headboard, but I think the one I used doesn't. I don't think so. I don't remember. But I think it's just like a simple swatch that I used. And then I also end up using some new ceiling lights that we got from this pack. I do this thing in I think all 3 homes actually. I do it in the parents' bedroom for this first home, and then I do it in the bedroom for the for the bachelor as well, where I put like ceiling lights instead of nightstand lights, because sometimes I just like that. I feel like it takes up the space nicely. But in the bachelor one I end up using some lights from the Balding Night stuff pack, I think. But then in the third home I do a mixture, because there ends up being 3 different like bedrooms for 3 roommates. And in the second bedroom you will see me do, I also end up using some new lights, because these new lights that we got are so pretty. We have a few different new lights. So the ones I use in the first home are like 2 balls. Sounds really weird. They're basically like 2 balls with some like fringe at the end, and there are different versions of it. There's like a the lowest wall height version, a medium wall height version, and stuff like that. And I think I use the medium wall height, but then I like size it down to fit better. And again, I just love it. And then in the third home you will see me use another light, which I love that light so much. It's so simple. It's basically just like a regular light, and then it has a ring around it, and it looks so beautiful and so perfect. It's so like modern and sleek, and I love it so much. So yeah, I love the new lights, the new ceiling lights. Oh, actually, there are like 2 other things that are huge that I want to talk about from this new pack. Number 1, new mirrors. Love them. Once again, you will see in the entryway of the first home, that mirror ends up being really high. It's a new one. I do change that with the tool mod later, don't worry. But then we also have another mirror, which we have, again, 2 versions of. I love that they did that. We have one simple, like, clean mirror, and then we have one with some, like, Polaroid pictures in it, which I love. I love that detail so much, and I end up using that version a couple of different times throughout this build. And then we also have some absolutely new beautiful wall decor. I meant to say paintings. For some reason I said wall decor. I don't know why. And not only paintings, we do have some new like beautiful like posters and murals and stuff like that. I used some of the murals on the exterior. You would have seen me use them there. And then we have some new like posters that I use in the teens room, and I think maybe in the kids room. I don't remember. I do know, however, that I use a mural of like a lizard in the kids' bedroom, just because I feel like it works. I don't know why. I just feel like it looked very cohesive with the rest of the room, and I just liked using it in there. It might look a little weird to just have a lizard on your wall, but hey, maybe the kid is into lizards. I don't know. But we have some new beautiful murals and some new like neon light decorations, which we have a few different ones. We have like already in the game. We have some from like high school years and stuff like that, which I use all the time. I use them usually in like kids rooms and teens rooms and stuff like that. And this new neon like light decoration, wall decoration thing that we got from this pack, I do end up using in the teens room for the first home. And I was planning on using one of the swatches in the third home, but then I never found a spot for it, so I didn't. But I do use them in the teens room a lot, which is I think why I had so much fun with doing the teens room, because I was able to use things that I wasn't able to use throughout the other homes, like again those neon ones. And then also we have this new wall decoration, which I don't know what you would call it. It's not a painting. It's like a mural kind of, but it has so many different swatches and I love it so much. But I used 2 different swatches of it in the teens bedroom. One of them I used directly behind the bed, which again I will make line up with the tool mod after. I know it might drive some people crazy when I was doing the teens room that you might have seen that like the edges of that mural painting thingy didn't line up with the edges of the bed or like the headboard. It will, I promise you. I just needed a tool mod to do that. But that is so pretty. I love it so much. I'm going to be using it in so many different teens rooms because it is so pretty. It has some like different, it's kind of like an arched mural and it has some different colors on it. I think there's like a yellow, blue, pink, I think. And it also has like a heart at the top and it's so cute. And then another swatch from that same like mural painting thing that I used is right by the desk, and it ends up being this like little rainbow and it's so pretty. And again, I'm gonna be using that specific like wall decoration thing from what in different teens rooms from now on. Like I love it so much. And then also a different like wall decoration thing that I use in the kitchen actually is we have some new like tilings, but we have tilings that are like as a wall decorations, which again we have been asking for so long, and we finally have them, and I'm so happy. They look so good. I do wish we would get some like more ones from different packs like going forward, because I think we could get some more like neutral ones, but I do really like the one that we got from this. I don't think I use it in any of the other kitchens, but I do use it for the kitchen in the first home. And then honestly, I feel like the star of this pack, to be honest, are some of the other paintings, because we have specifically 2 paintings that I love, and I think like the second one takes the cake for the most beautiful paintings in this game, which I've heard so many people say because they're absolutely gorgeous. But we have one that is like wider, if that makes sense. It's not that tall, but it's wider, and it has a few different swatches. It has some with like some lips on it and some with like a beautiful woman like standing there, and it looks a little bit abstract because there's like lines from that woman going out. And there's other versions of that painting as well, which I used the painting a lot in the first home and also the third home. But then again, the second painting is taking the cake for like the most beautiful painting in this game. It has so many different beautiful swatches. It has like I think the default swatch is this. It looks like an older painting kind of, and it's this beautiful woman again standing with some like flowers and stuff like that. And again, it looks a little bit older. But then some of the other swatches We have one swatch where there's almost a fully naked man, which I don't know how that got passed, but I love it so much. I'm so happy we have it. I used that all over the bachelor's apartment because I don't know, I just felt like it fitted so well. I used it like in the living room, I think. I used it in the entryway. I used it in the bedroom. I might have overused it. I'm sorry. I might have overused it, but it fits so well and I just love it so much. And then we also have another swatch from that. We have so many different swatches. We have one swatch that I used, again, also a lot in the first home and the third home, where there's like two women standing and it looks a little bit more like modern. And then we have a different swatch which is probably my favorite swatch out of all of them, which is this other like woman. I think she's pretty naked as well. She's kind of naked, but it's so pretty. I used it in the teens room in the first home, and then I used it in a few different places in the third home as well, and it's just so pretty. I love it. And it has some like, again, just some like paint strokes or like paint splatter on it, and it looks so beautiful. And then there's one swatch that I use in the third and final bedroom I do in the third home, which looks, to me, it encapsulates depression, which I don't know if that makes any sense whatsoever, but for me it encapsulates depression. And it's this kind of like more blue swatch, and it looks like there's a woman sitting there just looking down with her hair like all over, and it looks so pretty. But yeah, that painting in general is just one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life, and I will use it in all different kinds of builds. Like, genuinely, I'm going to be overusing that painting all over because it's so pretty and it will work in so many different scenarios and so many different homes. So I love it. Also, if I sound a little bit different than what I just did, I just had to sneeze like 1,000 times, and sometimes your voice sounds a little bit different after that. But yeah, anyways, moving on. We have now moved on into the bachelor's home, which we've just done the kitchen of. So the kitchen ends up being kind of like right as you walk in the entryway, because I don't know, that's just kind of how the floor plan worked out. But yeah, I actually love this home so much. I didn't think I was going to, but I really do. And again, it ends up being the most different, I think, out of all the homes. Like, it ends up being a little bit more modern and a little darker and stuff like that, and definitely like typical bachelor for me, but like a successful bachelor. You know, because I was thinking, again, I think I mentioned this before, but I was thinking that the bachelor is an interior designer, so they probably, you know, they have some style when it comes to the interior designings of things. But I was at the same time thinking that they're very much a player, and they also very much like to like work out and stuff like that. So they end up having a new like home, or new like what? They end up having a whole like home gym in their house because they have the spare room. Maybe at some point they will find the one and get married, and then maybe they want a baby, or maybe they won't be married and still have a baby, who knows. But they might, you know, at some point make that room into something else. But right now they're just a player living their best life, and they have a home gym because why not? And then also, it was mostly because I really wanted to use the new gym stuff that we got, which is really weird because I have talked about before how I am not a gym person. I am not a sports person. I never have, never will be. It's just not me. Just if that's you, good for you. It's not me, okay? It's not me. Never has been, never will be. But anyways, I am still like really like excited about the gym equipment that we got from this. And also, speaking of, it's currently the Olympics as I'm recording this, and as this video will come out, the Olympics are still going. And I tweeted about this today, but I'm not a sports girly. Like I just said, I don't know things. I don't know the rules of things. But I love watching the Olympics with my mom and my aunt specifically with me and my mom, because we will just sit there and we both barely understand what's going on, but we really like watching it. We mostly watch track and field and like some swimming and stuff like that. We watched a badminton match the other day because we were just bored, and we watched one and it was incredible. Badminton was weirdly one of the sports that I did like in school, so maybe that's why I wanted to watch it, or like why we watched it, I don't know. But yeah, just watching the Olympics right now is really fun. And in general, when I watch sports things, I get really into them. I don't know what's going on. I have no clue what's going on. but they're really fun. So yeah, I'm watching the Olympics. But anyways, going back into the video, like I said, I did want to use the new sports equipment because I might not be a sports girly, but I can appreciate sports equipment in this game because I'm a builder and I always look for more. And something that I've been wanting for forever, we finally got. Again, I know I said this before, but I feel like the Sims team really listened to us this time, like took notes of things we've been saying, because we got some. Not only did we get like a new treadmill and a new, I never know what this thing is called. You know when you work out your legs and arms on that thingy? We got two of those, but we got some new workout like posters and like motivational things and stuff like that, which I'm gonna be able to use in so many different scenarios, like in home gyms, but also in like, you know, like a rec center or maybe a like an actual gym or, you know, in different places. I'm finally gonna be able to use them and I'm so excited for that. But the thing that I'm most excited about, we finally have some like dumbbell thingies in the game, which I've been wanting for forever. Again, I don't know sports or like gym equipment, so I think they're called dumbbells. But we finally have like a rack of like dumbbells, and it's just decoration. You can't actually interact with it, but it's just decoration. I've been wanting it for forever. Anytime I've built with CC, or tried to build with CC, or looked into building CC, that is always one of the things I look out for because I wanted it for forever. So I'm so happy we finally have it in the game because it's so pretty and it's so useful, and I'm gonna be able to use it in so many different places. And yeah, I'm so excited about that, like super excited about that, which again, really weird to be excited about, but I am. Another thing that I'm excited about that I'm surprised I haven't mentioned yet, we have new candles. If you've been here before, you will know that my thing is all about coziness. Like not only in my builds, but like in general, like in in my life. My Discord role in my like friend group server is literally cozy because I'm all about cozy things, like blankets, fairy lights, candles, like all of it. So when we got new candles with this new pack, I was so happy because they're so pretty. They're a cluster of three candles, and they're different heights. And again, we have some beautiful swatches. We have some simple swatches. We have some more colorful swatches. They're just perfect, and I love them. And I'm gonna be using these candles in every single build from now on. And I remembered them because I saw them now when I was building like the bachelor pad. To be fair, I did see them in the first build as well, or in the first home, because I used them there as well. We also do have some new like actual candlesticks for once, which again, we have been asking for forever, and now we finally have them. We have some like beautiful candlesticks, and I used them like at the dining table of the bachelor home, which, okay, I wanted to explain this because I feel like it might be a little weird. You might see it and be like, why would this bachelor have some candlesticks? Like that seems a little weird. But I was thinking that this bachelor, they're a player, but they're also like a kind of like a womanizer, but a womanizer for all genders. If that makes sense. Because I was thinking that they're not just a player with the women, they're a player with everyone. Like, they're attracted to anyone and everyone. And that's kind of like their thing. They're just like, if they breathe, if they're human, they will try to get them, you know? I don't know why, that's so funny to me. I love it so much, but anyways, I was thinking that this person, maybe he holds, like, candlelit dinners for, like, you know, people that come over. So, that's why I placed them. Not only because I did want to use them, but then also because I did actually have some thought behind it. I didn't just place them because I wanted to place them. I did have some thought. But then also I wanted to mention with this whole like bachelor home, with their home, there is a desk in this build, which you won't see me place because again, because of time, I was going to keep this in, but because of time I didn't. In the like upstairs landing area, there ends up being a little bit like of an office space where again makes some references to them being an interior decorator, or an interior designer. Like I put the like corkboard situation thingy that we got from the Dream Home Decorator game packs to kind of like signalize that that is what he does. And so yeah, there is a desk, like a workout area. There's a whole ass workout room, but there's like a workstation, work area, office space. There we go, office space is what it's called. I'm so tired. It's 2:30 a.m. Oh my god, I thought it was like 1:30. To be fair, I've been recording for like an hour, but damn, I really did not. Well, it's gonna be a late night for me. I'm going to bed directly after this, and I'll edit this in the morning, but dear lord. Anyways, it's very late and I'm very tired. I was going to go to bed like a few hours ago, and then I was like, no, I have some energy now, and then here I am, and I don't know what happened. But anyways, what was I talking about? I don't know. Something about this build. Oh right, there is an office space. Don't worry. I do also end up putting the new wardrobe thingy situation, whatever you would call it, that we got from this new expansion pack. It's not actual. I think it does work as a wardrobe, but basically it's this like, I was gonna say coffin. It's this like luggage, like open luggage situation, which has some woohoo costumes in it. If you know, you know. And so I put that in there because I feel like in any of the homes here, he would be the one to have it. Again, he likes to get a little freaky, maybe. I don't know. But I placed that in there. And then I did use the new nightstand tables that we got, which I really like. I'm trying to figure out, okay, let me just look at this. Oh, we have new plushies. Sorry. I just looked over again to the list I had, and then I just saw plushies, and I was like, I haven't talked about those. I do use them in the teens room, and then also in a couple of different places in the first home. I think I ended up putting like one in the living room, stuff like that, but then also in the third home you will see me do. I do think I use them as well. And we have a couple of different new plushies. We have one that is this adorable little penguin question mark. I don't actually know what it is, but it's adorable. And then we have one, which I think it's one of those things, like if you buy the pack within a certain time period thing, you will get it. And it's this like, I think so. Am I completely wrong in saying this? I think it's one of those where it's like a heart plushie, and some of the swatches it looks like it's really happy, and some of them it looks like it has a blister on it. What? It's not called a blister. It has a what's it called? You know, when you've injured yourself, you put not a napkin. What is it called? I literally, not a blister. Plaster? There's also a Band-Aid. There we go. Plaster and a Band-Aid. There we go. I literally work at a pharmacy. I should know what that's called in English. To be fair, I do. When someone comes in and asks for like a Band-Aid, I know what they mean. Come on now. But like, thinking about it at the top of my head at 2:30 a.m. and almost 3 a.m., I can't. But anyways, and yeah, so I love that they have like a few different swatches of that little heart. Like some of them looks heartbroken, and some of them is like happy. So yeah, we have a couple of different plushies, which again I'm really happy about. Again, they're just like cozy things. I love plushies. I'm trying to figure out what else. Oh, we do have a few different other chairs. I know I talked about the chairs that we got, like the heart chair that we got before. We have another one that is also like very simple. But then we have one that is more like an outdoor chair that I used on both the what's it called? On like the porch area. I really can't think of words today. I use it on the porch area, and then I also use it on the balcony area of the bachelor apartment, which again you won't see me do because of time, but that apartment also has like a balcony area because he can't access, like that apartment can't access the like top balcony, which is like above the porch, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah, he can't access that, but he has his own little private balcony out back, don't worry. But I use these new chairs, and I use them in black on both places, I think, but these are just, again, beautiful, simple chairs that are kind of like outdoor chairs, which I'm going to be using at all times now because they remind me of chairs that I've seen like everywhere. So yeah, I love those, and I think they're very, I don't know, very realistic. And again, I feel like Sims teams, the Sims team has listened to us for once. I'm trying to figure out if there was anything else. Oh, there's a new single tile bar, which you will see me use in the, at the end of the video, actually, on the, like, again, the balcony area that is above the porch. You will see me use that there. I did try to fit it into the third apartment, or the third build, which I'm currently decorating, because actually I can talk about this now since I'm decorating it. But this third build, I was thinking that this is kind of like a party house, kind of. I was thinking again that there's 3 roommates. They are the best of friends. One of them is an artist because there ends up being an art room, and I was thinking that that is the person who has their bedroom on the downstairs level, but I was thinking that they're probably an artist, and so that's what they do. I don't know what the other 2 do, but the second bedroom you will see me do, I do end up using the new heart bed, which I didn't think I was going to use at all because it's kind of out there, but I did end up using it in that bedroom, which, if you don't know about the heart bed, it's iconic. I think it was in The Sims 2 that we had the heart bed, and then with the Basement Treasures kit that we got, I think it was last year, we got like a God, I can't with words. I swear to God, my boyfriend is going to watch this and then he's going to make fun of me for not being able to pronounce anything. Because that's what he usually does. Love him. That's not really sarcastic. I do genuinely love him, and it's really funny that he does that, and he knows I find that funny, so don't worry, he's not picking on him. I mean, he is, but like, I'm okay with it, you know? But we had like a disassembled version of the heart bed, and then we actually now finally have the iconic heart bed in the game. And again, I wasn't sure I was going to use it in this build because it's kind of out there, but it ends up working pretty well for that bedroom, because that bedroom also ends up being a little bit more like chic, if that makes sense. And I really like the bedroom. And then the third bedroom, which is probably my favorite bedroom outside of the teens bedroom that I did, I love, because I used the 4-poster bed that we got from City Living, and I used it in the purple swatch, which again, purple is my favorite color, so I might be biased. And then I also used the new flower wallpaper in there. I used it also in the art room, actually, in the art room. I thought I was the painting room? I don't know what I was gonna call it. It's the art room. Anyways, it's like a home studio thingy. Anyways, I used the new like flower wallpaper, and that new flower wallpaper has some beautiful swatches as well, and I love that wallpaper. Again, the art department, whoever worked on this pack with like the paintings and that wallpaper, you did a great job, guys. 10 out of 10, you deserve awards. Like genuinely, because they're so pretty. But I use a version of that wallpaper that has also some purple in it, and that room ends up being a little bit darker, but also just so cozy, and I love it. So yeah. What else was I talking about? I don't know. Otherwise, for this third house, I was trying to make like hints through that there is just like 3 women living here. Again, you can have whoever you want, but I was thinking that there's like 3 women living here. They're young adults, they're living their best lives, and they're just like having parties sometimes and stuff like that. So I do end up using the lip couch in the lip love seat in the entryway, which again, didn't think I was gonna be able to use in this build, but it works very well in general for this build, apartment, whatever. And they also had like a huge living room, so you will see me when I'm building it, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna add a bathroom in here because it's so big and I didn't know what to do with the space. So yeah, there ends up being a lot of bathrooms in this third home, actually, but it's fine. Maybe if they have a like company over, they have a lot of bathrooms to use. But yeah, I don't know if there's anything else about this third home I didn't want to mention. I don't think so. And then I'm gonna look back into my list. Oh, we do have a new rug. Do we have a couple of new rugs? I only remember one of them. Oh no, we do have 2 that I remember. We have one that is a smaller rug, but that has, I think it only has like 4 swatches as well, but it's this kind of like striped rug, and I use it in a couple of different places throughout this build, and I like it I like it really much. Good job, Mal. Good job. I like it a lot. I'm probably mostly going to use it in the brown swatch and the black swatch, just because, again, simplicity, and I feel like it looks the best. And then we also have a new high table, or like a new table that is high. Sounds really weird, which is really weird, but I was really excited when I saw that as well, because that new table is going to save me so much time, because sometimes in kitchens, I don't want to use, like island counters. I want to use like a more like a table, but I still want to have like bar stools at it, so it needs to be a higher table, and we don't have that many, and the ones we have are not that simple. Like we have one, I think, from the Dine Out expansion or Dine Out game pack, which is a little bit more modern, and then I think we have one from like the industrial loft kit, which again is industrial, so I don't know, they just don't work. But the one we have now is simple, it's perfect, and I used it in the third house, or the third home, third apartment, whatever. I've given up. I have given up. But I used it in the third home, in the kitchen. That home also ends up having more of like a dining room space, because that's just how the floor plan worked out, but they do have that little like bar stool high table situation, which I really like, and again I'm going to be using that high table all the time. We do also have some new bar stools. I used one of the ones we have in both of the, I think, oh yeah, no, I used it in the third home and the second home. I used them in two different swatches. I used them in the white swatch and the black swatch, because I just like the simplicity of it. Honestly, do a count on how many times I've said simple or simplicity in this video, because it's been so many times. And I think that was all the things I wanted to mention. We have a bunch of new other things that I probably haven't mentioned yet, but yeah, I think those are like the main things that I want to talk about, because again, I love this pack so much. Like, if you're thinking of getting it from like a builder standpoint, get it. It is perfect. Plus you get this new world where you can build more penthouses, which is really exciting, and we don't really have a world like this in the game already, that again is both city but then also a little bit more like rural, urban. So yeah, I don't know, I love this pack, and I know I was able to get it through the Acre Network, but I promise they did not pay me to say anything good about it. Any opinions are my own, and so yeah, I really like it. And let me know what you guys think of it. If you already have it, let me know if you have liked it so far, and if you're planning on getting it, let me know what you're most excited about, because I really like it. But yeah, I think that was it for the build. I don't remember. I don't know if there was anything else I wanted to mention. I don't know. Again, as always, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm not going to go into my rambles. Sometimes throughout my rambles, I notice things within the build that I want to mention, so maybe I will, but I don't know if I actually will. But anyways, how are you guys? I hope you're well. Like I said earlier, my life has been so busy right now, which is really weird, because it's like vacation time. Like, both my parents have vacation right now, and they have for the last 5 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that. I don't remember. They both have 7 weeks of vacation that they've taken out. So yeah, they have a long vacation, but I have been working like crazy. I've been working so much more than I was planned to, because one of my coworkers have been sick a lot, so I've had to jump in and take some of her time. So I've been working so much more than I thought I was going to. And then again, I went on that like weekend holiday thingy, which me and my mom drove up to my grandma, which is where I used to live, but it's 8 hours away from where I live now. I grew up there, and then we moved here like 9 years ago. So it was weird, because I haven't been in that town since the pandemic. I visited a lot, like when we moved here, and then until the pandemic I was visited what I visited quite a lot, because I had friends there, and like my grandma still lives there and stuff like that. But then the pandemic hit, and I just haven't been back. But we went up, like, again, we were supposed to leave on the Saturday, but we left on the Friday instead, because we realized that I only worked until like 1:30, so we definitely had the time. So yeah, we drove up, and then I took the train home on Sunday, because I had work on Monday, so I had to get home. But my mom stayed and like helped my grandma with some stuff, and then both her and my grandma came down, like drove down a couple of days ago. But yeah, so I was away from that again, which again, not great timing with the new pack, to be honest. But yeah, and then also I have a new kitten, which if you follow me on Twitter, you might have seen some pictures of him. He's adorable, which is also, if you see any weird like cuts, or if there's a lot of different cuts within this video or stuff like that, It's because this new kid is adorable and I love him so much. And he is such like a people person, or like a people cat, I guess. It's not a person, so a people cat. So like he can jump up to my desk now, but when we got him 2 weeks ago, he couldn't, so he would stand at my feet, meow at me, until I lifted him up so he could be like on my desk. And he loves like laying on my keyboard, or like around my keyboard, or like he will just like go over it. So he will sometimes just make my game spin out. And I was like, you know what, it's okay. He's just a little guy, he's just a little baby. But yeah, I love him so much. He's so cute. I have been knowing, like, I knew that we were gonna get him for months, but I haven't said anything because I don't know, so I was scared the plans were gonna fall through or something like that. But now we have him and he's adorable. His name is Chocolate Chip, which is actually his like birth name, which, to be fair, we got him because my dad's cousin like breeds this breed. That sounds really weird. So we were able to get him through her, and she does not have like horrendous names for her cats. So for like the other cats we have changed their names, but for him we were going to, but then he just seems like a chocolate chip. Like, it just works. So we either call him that or CC. Like, if we're texting about him, we put like CC. Or we call him mostly like Chip, or like Chip Dip or something like that. Mostly Chip, or Chippin. And I love him. He's so cute. He's so adorable. And again, he's such a people's cat, which my cat, which, if you didn't know, I have a cat myself. Well, obviously she lives with me and I live with my parents, so like, you know, but she's like actually mine, and she is adorable, and she's also like a people's cat, but she is more like a people's cat at a distance. So she loves cuddles, but she won't actively go up to you and want cuddles a lot. Well, she will do it if you're laying in bed. Then she will like jump up and like really want to be with you. And she likes being in the same room as like a different, like a person. But this cat, he will like jump up on my desk. Again, now that he can do it, he will jump up on my desk, and then he would just like either like go around and like lay down and like sleep around me while I'm at my PC, or, which he's been starting to do a lot recently, he will like stand in front of me, like in front of my keyboard, like right in front of me, like meow at me and like try to climb up on me until I pick him up so he can fall asleep in my arms. And it's so adorable. And he purrs like, oh, I love him. I almost said spins because that's what it is in Swedish, but it's not in English. But he's adorable and I love him so much. And again, I have pictures of him up on Twitter because he's too cute. Like, but yeah, we have a little chocolate chip now and he's adorable and I love him so much. Again, like, he's a Burmese cat, by the way. And so he's adorable and I love him. And yeah, I don't know what else like to say. He is just adorable. I have so many pictures of him. I posted only a few, but like I keep sending pictures of him to my boyfriend, which my boyfriend is not a cat person. He is not, but he knows that I am, and he's prepared to have cats. Like whenever we like move in together, something like that, like he's prepared. He's like, I know we're gonna have cats, that's okay. Because he knows I love them, but like he's not a huge cat person, but I will send him pictures of my cat and like bombard him right now, and I will just be like, look how cute he is, but be like, ignore me, I just woke up or something like that, and he will be like, no, but look how cute you are, and I'm like, that's not the point is the cat. Stop complimenting me, this is the cat, compliment the cat. Because oh my god, I love this cat so much. But yeah, I don't know what else has been going on in my life. Not much. I've been working like crazy. And I start school soon as well, so that's that. And I've been trying to take my driver's license, and there's just been so much. So plus I've been trying to edit this because this video is so long, so it took forever to edit as well. I did finish this build a couple of days ago, but I've just been trying to find time to edit. And then also Olympics, like I'm gonna spend time with my family. I make my family stuff like that priority. So yeah, I hope you guys are not too mad at me. But what else? Is there anything else I want to talk about? I don't know. I don't remember. I do not remember. Oh, actually, I had like the weirdest day the other day, which I tweeted about because it was such a weird day. Because I was supposed to work that day, but I was only supposed to work the, like until 1:30 again. Then my colleague again, she was sick, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna, like, I'll step in, I'll work like a full day. That's fine by me, because my aunt who I work with, she would have been alone like the last hour then, and I didn't want that. Like, that just seemed weird. So I was like, I'll jump in, sure, I'm fine with that. Plus I was off the day before, like the day after, like I had a long weekend, like I was off Friday. So this was Thursday, and it was the weirdest day. Like, again, I wasn't supposed to work long, but I did, and then we had some like troubles with our like card machine thingies. So that was weird, which we've been having some troubles recently with it, and so it wasn't that weird. But then we had a rude customer, which might seem weird, but we never have rude customers. I don't know if it's just the pharmacy I work at or pharmacies in general like this, but like, at least the pharmacy I work at, everyone is so nice. To be fair, it's mostly the same people coming in because I work at a small town pharmacy. It's like the same people coming in every day, and we're nice, so they're nice back, you know? But we had this customer come in and he was pissed, and he was in the wrong. To be fair, he's very like ill, so we can't blame him really. Like, we didn't take it personally at all, but he was just being very rude about stuff and accusing us of doing the wrong thing, which we hadn't done. It was like a carrot moment. You know, did I say moment and not say moment? Sorry about that. But it was a carrot moment. Like, he was in the wrong, we knew that, but he didn't want to realize it. Like, he was very stubborn, so he was very rude, and he was like swearing at us, yelling at us. And my aunt was on like lunch then, and our boss is on vacation, so she's like the acting boss, or whatever. And he was like, I want to speak to your boss. Like a true Karen move. And we were like, and I told him, I was like, she's on lunch, she has right to her lunch. You have to, like, you can take your time, like, you can sit here and wait if you want to, but she's gonna have her lunch because that's her right. And then he got pissed at me, and I was like, I'm sorry for following the law of her being able to have lunch. And then he got really pissed and stuff like that. Again, not his fault, he's very ill, so not his fault really, and he doesn't take his medication, which is a whole nother thing. That does not make a good situation out of things. But yeah, so it wasn't too bad, but it was just a weird thing. And I am not great when people yell at me, especially when it's like a man that is like twice my size. I'm not great at it. Like, so I was shaking. I handled it well. Like, I didn't show him that, but like, I was putting up things and I was like shaking as I was doing it. But so that was weird. And then the day ended with me having to call 911 because there was a fire outside my work. Because of course, like, what a day. It was such a weird day. I've never had to call 911 before, which I hope to God that none of you have ever had to, or at least it's not been like a serious situation. But someone, like, we were literally closing, and then someone just came in and was trying to be like, because I was talking to another customer, and this person was like, hello, and I thought they were gonna be another rude customer, so I was kind of like ignoring them. But then they were like, there's a fire outside, and I was like, what? So we put it out. But then as I could see, like, there was some people are stupid, and they had thrown, it looked like empty packages of, like, again, like, of medicine and stuff like that. It looked like the empty packages of it. Probably people have, like, gone and bought medication and then, like, taken out the things they need and then, like, throw the packaging it away. And that dumpster, because it was a dumpster, or like a trash can. It was not a dumpster, it was a trash can, that had caught fire. I don't know how. It was a really small one as well, but because of that, I couldn't say like for sure that there was no medication in there, since there were like medication packages in there. So my aunt was like, yeah, you have to call them, you have to call 911 just to make sure, since there's medication in there, and medication being on fire, not a good thing. So yeah, it was a very, very weird day. And then I fell asleep and had weird dreams, and it was such a weird day. And yeah, I've never had to call 911 before, and it was weird. Anyways, that's basically it for this video, and I really hope you liked it. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and of course subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!